Welcome to the Alaskan Journey podcast. My name is Jamin Goecker. I'm your first friend in Alaska, and the purpose of this podcast is to really show you what it's like living in Alaska from the perspective of people who actually do live here. And today we're very lucky to be joined by Drake and Chanti. They're actually moved, I think, just a couple of years ago from Hawaii.
One
So
year
ago.
of the end of this month.
Yeah. I remember like the first visit, like you guys came up here, you were talking about like, making that transition from Hawaii to Alaska. So I guess let's go and just start with that.
I think you actually were our first friend, at least my first friend. But I think that in Alaska, we went to one of the coffee shops.
Yeah. Like I remember that. So what got you guys interested initially in making that move up here to Alaska? Because surprisingly, you guys aren't the first people I've helped move from Hawaii to Alaska. So, I mean, it happens, but, what makes you decide to move from paradise to Alaska?
I think we're...
Well, it was your job, right?
Well, yeah. First, I mean, we didn't move up here for my job in the sense of that. I think when you look at it as a whole, we both grew up on a rock in the middle of the ocean, and we wanted to explore different things. But I had a job opportunity up here that would help us with relocation. So that was kind of like the guiding.
All right. So that was pretty much, we'll take it and give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so Alaska is, obviously something off the island and everything. Had you guys had a whole lot of opportunities come up here and visit before making that move? Okay.
Prior,
I have some family that live up here, and my grandparents have a cabin down in Soldotna, so I spent quite a few summers down there. And then we brought Drake up, 3-ish years ago?
Around there, a couple. Yeah,
and then we both were like, we love it. Why? I mean,
in some sense, it kind of reminds me of Hawaii too.
Yeah.
That outdoors, kind of laid back, not too much city. Well, if you're on Anchorage, right? But
yeah.
Yeah, you kind of get a bit of island time going on up here to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like
to a certain extent.
And not nearly as much as Hawaii,
right.
But when the salmon are running, it's you may be able to get a contractor, you may not. Outstanding. So, what did friends and family think when you guys said you were moving to Alaska?
I think it was a little bit of mixed emotions from everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that they were happy about it because all of our family is back home in Hawaii. So
I think my mom guys thought I was joking. They're like, "What?
Yeah,
where?"
And I kind of gave my parents a heads up before we officially made that move of like, hey, this is what we're kind of thinking about. We're gonna go visit, see what life would look like for us. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a complete shock for them in that sense, but I think they've all adjusted, and now Alaska is everybody's vacation go-to spot.
Yeah.
To come and visit.
Absolutely. Have you guys had a lot of visitors showing up since then? Like, because you're kind of going from one tourist destination to like another. So
especially during the summer, we had his family here
my mom and
about a
dad
week.
came up, and then this next coming weeks are gonna be pretty busy.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm picking up my brother. The week after that, I'm picking up my other brother. My grandparents flew in a few weeks ago, so.
And then the following week after that, my sister will get in. My sister and her husband.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it'll be busy.
Yeah.
Busy summer.
Yeah. Where are you guys taking them?
So down to Soldotna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're going to
staying
spend
on
some time
that cabin
down
there.
Yeah.
Get some fishing in.
very nice. I've been told like they're just slaughtering them down there for salmon fishing lately.
Oh,
so
yeah. The numbers are coming up, so it's getting pretty busy down there. Yeah.
Yeah. So best of luck with that. That should be a pretty fun little trip. And good thing about having visitors from Alaska too, they're usually going to be impressed pretty easily. So usually like just the drive.
Right.
I think the one thing that our family, that like my dad just flew up a few days ago, and the thing that has surprised a lot of people is like you have more than Walmart, you have more than one Walmart, and you have more than one Target, and you have more than one Costco, because on the island you have like one of each. So that's been a thing that surprises everybody. They're like, I'm like, oh, let's go check the other Walmart. They're like, what do you mean the other Walmart? I'm like, the other Walmart. So
that's true. I hadn't really thought about that. But compared to like, the big island, Hawaii, like it's, we're going to feel like you got all the options in the world up here.
For sure.
I guess actually a lot cheaper than what it is down in Hawaii too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I actually visited Hawaii like I think it was around like February or so, and I was just kind of like walking around the grocery store, had like the little coral reef I was going to go check out. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go buy like a mask and, just go swimming down there. And the mask was like $50. And I was like, well, this is going to be a goggles kind of an outfit then.
Yeah. I think it was an eye-opener when we came up like for vacations, especially when we would go grocery shopping down in Soldotna. We'd be like, wow, everything is so much cheaper here. But we went back home in January, February also, and we were just walked into a Safeway back home, and we're like, holy geez, milk is like $10.
I had to pick up milk for her, and she was like, I went into the grocery store, Safeway, and I was like, $11 for a gallon of milk.
It's like, how do people live here?
That's why I kind of forgot. I was like, dang.
Yeah.
It gets you quick. Yeah. So what were some of the big initial challenges for you guys when you were making the move up here?
Logistically, the move itself, in the sense of
we never packed up the entire house and made a move across the ocean.
Trying to figure out how to move across the Pacific Ocean, per se. I think that was one of the, I wouldn't say struggles, but that was the biggest hurdle, was trying to figure out what we're bringing up.
Deciding what to leave behind, what we need and what we don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, was there like a process that you guys took to kind of pare things down and prioritize, or? I
was fortunate in the sense of that the job that I accepted offered, I explained to them that I would be moving from Hilo, and I was fortunate enough that they offered me a relocation package. So they were like, hey, this is about they guesstimated how much it would cost for us to relocate our items and our households based on how much rooms we have and the kids and all of that. And they were kind of spot on.
Yeah. It was pretty.
I think
really
we
close,
ended up. Did we get a 20 or 40 foot container? Was it 40?
We got a 40.
Yeah, we had got a 40 foot shipping container, fit whatever we could in there, and then put a vehicle in it also. And it was actually 14,000 to ship it up. So
okay, and considering you're going from island in the Pacific to Alaska,
we had to go from the Hilo port to Oahu to Seattle, and then Seattle up to here. So it was a few different ports that I went to, but it actually came very quick. I think it
came in 2 weeks earlier than expected.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, we were down in Soldotna, and I got an email that
your container's porting tomorrow. And we're like,
what?
wow.
It's not supposed to be here for another 2 weeks.
But that process, I think going through what we wanted to keep, what we wanted to sell, what we wanted to ship with us, that was kind of a thing in the beginning, because I felt like I was very attached to the kids stuff. But we figured it out.
Even though we had a 40-foot container, it filled it actually pretty quick, and I was like, man.
Yeah, when you've got kids, it just fills up so quick.
Yeah.
And then you really realize how much stuff you have. It's like, wow. Okay. And
then the first house, we rented for the first, 6-8 months about or so.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was, even though it was a house, a full house, it was very small in the sense of we had to downsize some of the things. Mm-hmm. So there were containers and boxes everywhere for a bit. But I don't know. We figured it out.
Yeah. Now, for you guys, you have the folks down in the Soldotna area, and, obviously came up here to South Central area because of, the employment opportunities and everything. Where, within South Central, did you initially kind of settle down and rent in?
We were in Scenic Foothills, off of Muldoon, where that Tudor...
Right by Totem Theater.
Gotcha.
It's the easiest place to describe that area over there.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So kind of in the Anchorage area.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of Anchorage for, I guess, kind of the first impressions there? And no one's going to get their feelings hurt. So
I appreciated how convenient everything was in proximity of if I needed to go to the grocery store, it was a few minutes on the road.
You have so many different options of stores and whatnot in Anchorage.
I personally did not like how close the homes are in the sense of you can smell your neighbor's
you have 8
dinner.
feet.
Yeah. And I don't know. It was just a different type of living environment.
Yeah, than what we're used to.
In the sense of back home we have more.
Anchorage's a city, right? So that was kind of a big change. It's wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing too that I'm sure you guys kind of ran into, most people don't come to Alaska to find a zero lot line house where you can like smell what your neighbors are cooking and everything. So,
Yeah.
you know, I bet there was a little bit of adjusting expectations versus, you know, kind of what you get. But sounds like you guys, you wanted to do the renting first to kind of figure out what
Right.
areas you're really going to, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, like we visited prior, you know, years prior, but we had to actually live here, so that was kind of like it's like the test to kind of feel it out, and then from there, like you're saying,
I'm glad
Kinda
that we
get-
didn't
yeah.
decide to like purchase from the get go, because I think we probably would have set on Anchorage just until we figure things out.
Right.
But I'm glad that we rented, so that when we were like, yeah, we like it here, we're probably gonna put some roots down here, but not in the town, not in the city.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the best way to go. I mean, if you're going from an environment that is so drastically different, like Hawaii, and then moving to Alaska, you know, some people they can do sight unseen, never been there before. Like they are there, they got it. First time they see the house is when they're moving into it. Like they don't actually see it throughout the
Yeah.
entire process. For some people, that works great. Other people, that's kind of a nightmare scenario.
yeah, I think
so.
if we were to purchase a house like that, right, if we were to like,
I think
that
we
house,
would have
like,
flipped
like,
it very
if we
quickly.
purchased the house like the one that we were renting, that would have been, I don't think that would have worked out.
I don't think we
Yeah.
would have been happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But so came up here, lived here a little bit. And what time of year did you guys come up here? Because I remember it kind of being cold when we met, but
Yeah, when I first met you, we were in, that was probably like in March, April. And then we officially, after that visit, we officially decided to make the move, and
Yeah.
then we like did the actual move the ending of July.
Yeah, it was ending of July.
Yeah. So it's almost been about a year now.
yeah, outstanding. So, I mean, we ended up kind of finding something around kind of the Palmer area. What is it about Palmer that really kind of stood out to y'all?
I think for me, it kind of reminded me of home in the sense of very like small town kind of vibes. And when we started actually looking at houses for what we wanted to, like our budget, what we wanted to spend on, we realized we could get a lot more bang for our buck moving slightly out of town than staying in town.
Yeah, like it's not even close.
I mean, that other house we looked at prior to all in Palmer right, with you, that was kind of,
Oh, the one in Anchorage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it was
Yeah,
like, what, same price point, but it was like,
night and
Yeah,
day difference.
it is. Yeah, it is so difficult to really appreciate what walking around in, just throw out a number, a $400,000 house in the valley is versus a $400,000 property in Anchorage. Like,
Right.
until you've actually been there and like heard everything creaking and
Oh, yeah. It was rough.
yeah. So, I mean, partly because of the housing, partly because of the small town vibes. Have you guys found it easy to kind of plug into the everything going on in the community since you've gotten there?
Yeah. I think we've kind of built our own little community just based on like people we met and, you know, building relationships with coworkers and whatnot. And a lot of my coworkers would be like, hey, you know, we have this community event going on. There's a lot that happens at the state fairground. So every time we're driving by, we're like, okay, they're putting up tents this weekend. Let's go figure out what's going on. So definitely we've built some relationships. It's not the same as being at home in the sense of you don't have that close knit of family. Like we grew up both with very close families, so I think we're kind of building more of that structure here. But we're enjoying it so far.
She's making her appearance.
She wants to share her story.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like her perspective is going to blow this whole thing wide open. Oh, that's awesome. So, what has it been like with kind of getting settled with the kids and getting them into the routines? Are you guys finding like Palmer is one of those communities where it's easy to, you know, to have kids and kind of settle in?
I think so. There's been a lot of just on the street that we've moved to. There's been a lot of kids, and they'll constantly go out riding their bikes, and we'll always see kids around there.
yeah, it just seems like a more family friendly. I mean, where we were in Anchorage was nice, but it's just, I don't know.
I don't know how to say that like you said without offending everybody, but it's a lot more cleaner neighborhood and a lot more cleaner community in town in the sense of like I don't feel.
I think because everything's not like so just congested. It's like everybody's kind of spaced out, so you kind of have some room, and it's just like a little more relaxing, and the kids can just play, and you
Yeah.
know, you can just let them. I mean, you can go out on the street with them and just
Yeah.
ride bike and whatnot. So it's, I don't know. how to
And you could
explain
take them. You could take them walking outside and riding their bike, and I'm not
Right.
worried about running into some people sleeping on the street somewhere or
Yeah,
somebody
no,
sleeping on the sidewalk. those kind of things, and
It's
not
like,
seeing one thing or
what? There are
another.
homeless people in Anchorage? Like,
That was. I think that
it's
was
the
a
same
big
problem we had in
eye-opener.
Hawaii, but it was kind of eye opening to actually. I mean, yeah.
I think
really
it's
is.
compared to Hawaii. It seems like it's much more prominent here,
Yeah.
though, and it's different types of
Yeah.
people. But
yeah, I mean, the assembly just went and passed like a new ordinance this week where, I don't know if you guys have been tracking it in Anchorage, but essentially if there's no public camping allowed now, like within like, a certain number of feet of like, solid walled structures. So essentially what it's doing is kind of targeting like homeless population. And once the cops round them up, because now it's a crime, it's not a misdemeanor, like they can pick them up immediately. And their options at that point are, okay, you can either mandatorily go through rehab or you can go to jail.
Oh, wow.
Either way, you're getting sober. So
yeah, maybe
So-
that's the answer. We'll see.
yeah, we'll just see what happens here in the future. But
Yeah.
I guess it all comes down to how APD is actually going to enforce it now.
Right.
Okay, so you guys been up here for a little bit, kind of seen the changing of the seasons and everything. What was that first winter like for you guys? Because I mean,
From what I've heard, that wasn't a real winter. Like everybody who's lived here before, they're like, "That's not a
It's
real
like,
winter."
you guys lucked out. You got such a mild winter to get introduced to. So I was like, oh, okay, cool.
yeah, there's going to be a price to pay this winter, I'm sure. So
I mean, I think I got a good experience of winter working on the slope.
Oh yeah, you
so,
kind of deal with
yeah.
winter all the time. I think I had a few moments of like I was working night shift at that time, and I would get off in the morning and hop in my car. Auto starters. If you're moving here, you need an auto starter in your vehicle for the winters. Because prior to that, I was like, what do people do? Do they run out and start their vehicles? But there was like a core memory I have, I guess, at this point, where I ran down to start my vehicle, and the water bottle that I left in my car was
frozen.
completely frozen solid. And I like stood there for a second. I was like, what am I doing with my life? How did I live in this place where I wake up and like I'm going and that my water bottle is frozen?
it's like, what decisions have led me to this point?
Yes.
Like,
But I think the kids enjoyed it. The first time she was 2-year-old at that time, Maya?
Maya, yeah.
The first time she saw snow, we were like showing it. We were like little kids. We don't, obviously, you get snow on Mauna Kea back home, but not
Yeah,
like what you experience
barely,
here,
yeah.
right? And by the time you get over there, it's more like ice. So I was like a little kid trying to show my kids what it was, and the first time she saw it, she like opened the curtain and she was like, "Mommy, there's some marshmallows all over the place." Like she doesn't know what snow is. But I think they've adapted well. We've learned to keep active or keep busy during the winters. We took them tubing. Definitely have more winter activities and things that I have not done before. But other than that, I think we adjusted fairly well.
Yeah, I think the kids are excited about it,
Yeah.
especially when it's snowing. Maya and Mila are running out there. Snow,
Yeah.
it's snowing. Like, oh
I've
man,
never had
I gotta shove the driveway now.
Yeah, I was like, I've never had to shovel driveways before, so that's different. But I don't know. I think it's more of an experience than it was like a, oh my goodness, it's winter. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
experience as opposed to like an ordeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so how everybody's at work, they're like, when they first move out there, they're like, are you crazy?
Oh yeah.
you like the snow? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I lived in
think-
Hawaii my entire life, so this is pretty cool.
When people even at work, like just through different coworkers, where they find out where they're like, why would you ever move from there? That's like paradise. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Do you have time for a PowerPoint? Because let's go through this whole. I think there's a lot more to it, but a lot of people ask the same question: Why would you leave paradise to come here? And I'm like,
Yeah.
let's
like,
run it down.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like Hawaii's got its own problems, so I think everyone's just always got the island vibes when they go to Hawaii and they only see the beaches and all that, which is incredible,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful, and also it's got its problems,
For sure.
like any state.
I mean, yeah, any place right now has their pros and cons. But
Right. And I think that was one of the things we looked at, like, prior to moving. I feel like I'm very analytical. I like to make pros and cons lists. I like to look at statistics and whatnot. And when we're comparing things, you just break down, like I said, you look at your income of how much you're working back home versus what we're bringing home versus what we would make here versus what we're bringing home. And I think one of the biggest eye openers for me is back home I was working 2 full-time nursing jobs, and now I'm able to work just 1 full-time nursing job and bring home about the same. So.
You're working like 180 hours a week? Like,
it's ridiculous. Yeah. I was working 2 full-time jobs, nursing jobs back home. But right now I just work 1 full-time, and I picked up a PRN out in Matsu and love it.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I can definitely corroborate being very analytical. Remember, like, first time us sitting down, you had like a full list, like, written out with questions and everything. I was like, okay.
I don't know. I think it's like the part of me that's like very like scientific method of evidence based of like I need to know what I'm looking at. I need to know fact check things.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let's talk in bullet points here. Like,
but I think overall we're still very happy with our move. There are times where things do get a little more stressful, especially when he's gone on his long streaks of work, and we get a little bit of the homesickness kind of coming on. The hardest thing is being away from family and missing the food that we grew up with. Like, it is so hard to find good island local food up here. I think we found like 1 food truck that is legit.
yeah.
The guy's from the island too, so that's why it was pretty good.
You guys are just like the food truck chaser, like the ambulance chaser.
Yeah.
You guys are just following them around everywhere.
Yeah. It's been, but I have also learned that there's kind of a larger Pacific Islander community up here too. We met a handful of people that are actually from the islands as well. So I feel like we get our feels there.
Yeah. How did you guys handle the darkness? Because I mean, it wasn't very cold, but I mean, you know, the darkness isn't impacted. So
it didn't really bother me. I don't know. I didn't think it was like...
I think it affected the kids, especially our oldest daughter. It affected her in the sense of... Sorry, let me get her settled. It affected her in the sense of back home, back home meaning Hilo, we would use our, like the sun and the sunrise and the sunset to kind of plan out our days in the sense of like, hey, it's morning time, the sun's up, it's, you know, the sun's going down, it's time to go take a bath, get ready for dinner. But over here, they struggle with that, especially during the summer times because they're like, it's not time to take a bath. The sun's still up. I'm like, the sun's gonna be out till 11 o'clock at night.
It's 10 p.m. Let's go to bed.
So being a little more strict with routines and actually like teaching her about like the clock and what it means in the sense of that. But I think overall we all kind of adjusted well, and just one of the things that we would do to keep her active during that time. If I would pick her up from school and we did have time, I would just let her play at the park around school because I'm like, we only got an hour left of sunlight. Might as well do something with it. Somebody told me about those sad lights, happy lights, whatever you call them. I looked into it, but I just was like, it is so expensive for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think I spend like $150, something like that, for like, you know, the happy lights. And I mean, I was skeptical for years. I tried it out, and I mean, it was like I could not like sleep like during the wintertime. The circadian rhythm just gets so thrown off. I can't sleep even though it's dark outside.
Yeah.
But as soon as I did the happy lights, like first thing in the morning, like it was like a hard factory reset within a couple of days.
I got one of, it's kind of like, I guess it's a happy light, but it's like an alarm clock that sequentially gets brighter and brighter till I put it in the kids' room. It seems to be working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. So kind of in wrapping up here then, how would you say, you know, the expectations of Alaska were versus how it lived up to it? Better way to ask that. Did Alaska live up to the expectations that you had of it?
I think so. I think, you know, prior to us moving over here, especially Drake, he did his whole research of like things he wanted to go, where he wanted to go camping, things he wanted to see, all like this whole list of outdoorsy things we wanted to do. We've checked some of the things off, but not all of it. And I think the big thing is that once you get into the routine of work, school, and life, is that you realize it's just like living anywhere else. It's like you're going to need to make time to do those fun things. But I think overall, like I said, we're still happy with our move. We're still doing all the things that we want to do, but
I mean, it's pretty much a new experience all the time.
Yeah.
Still yet for us, so I don't know. I'm pretty stoked about it.
yeah.
Oh,
I got lost driving here today.
yeah, not your fault. Just the GPS is crazy, and I mean, as long as it doesn't wash you up on like some person's driveway that you don't want to be on their driveway,
Yeah.
it's all fine.
I think overall the people we meet, for the most part, everybody's pleasant. I will say.
I mean, yeah, that's what when we first moved up, that was what kind of surprised me. Like, everybody's super welcoming.
Yeah, and friendly.
And, like, friendly. I think that was the biggest thing for me when we moved up here, was like going from that island, the island vibe, that moving up here, I wasn't too sure how that was going to be with, the people up here. But everyone up here is really nice and, like I said, super welcoming. So
Yeah, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's such a transitory state that just about everyone can remember when they moved here, and it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that definitely does contribute to it.
I think one of the other things that was a surprise for me is driving here. Not necessarily I'm not talking about just the winter times, but the highest speed limit back home is 55. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah. So
yeah.
when you're driving here, I'm like, I feel like I'm speeding and there's cars going all around me. Even during the winter, the first time I ever had to drive on a slicky kind of ice road, I was probably driving at most 10 miles an hour, and there was people zooming by me, and they must have been thinking "Damn rookie." But I think driving and just the concept of back home, you could drive around the island in 3 hours at most,
4 hours,
3 to 4 hours, and then you're back to the place you started.
Amazing. I just came from Soldotna, and that took me 4 hours to get from there to here.
Yeah.
And it's not even halfway through the state.
Yeah.
But just that whole concept of you literally can just hop in your car and decide where you want to go for that day and just, I don't know, see a whole bunch of new things. The kids have always been excited about the wildlife that we see.
Yeah.
They call squirrels mongoose because they never grew up with squirrels. So even at the cabin, they'll be like, look at the mongoose. I'm like, that's a squirrel. But just things like that. I think it's more exciting for us to see how excited they get in that sense of I don't know, experience things differently.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. So for you guys then, what would you say the pros and cons of living in Alaska is? Which, I mean, we've talked a lot about the good stuff, and I mean, also people who watch this channel, they're realists. They kind of understand there's pros and cons of living anywhere. So for you guys, what would you say are pros and cons of living in Alaska?
I think one of the biggest cons, and I think it wasn't really a con for us because we're used to it, but how slow things get here. And the whole shipping thing of Hawaii and Alaska is excluded, those kind of things. It wasn't really an adjustment for us in the sense because we're used to it. But a lot of people, they'd be like, oh, it's so hard to get things here. It's hard to get things here. It's hard to find things here. I'm like, well,
It's just as hard as living in Hawaii.
But I think maybe the biggest downfall for us is just how difficult it is to... You can't easily drive up to, your brother's house or your mom's house. And it's during the winters, they have those direct flights to and from Kona. So it's a 6-hour flight. But other than that, you have to stop in Oahu or Seattle or wherever. But I think that would be probably one of the biggest things is if you're coming from a very tight-knit, close family, if you understand that you're not going to be able to have that much, physical interaction as you would. I think that has been the biggest downfall for me.
That's pretty much a con throughout anywhere, though, if you're moving away from family. So.
I feel if you're coming from the mainland, or I've learned that they call it the lower 48. Back home we call it the mainland. Over here they call it the lower 48.
Interchangeable, yeah.
But if you're moving from a place like that, I think that might be something different in the sense of, just accessibility to things. My background is healthcare, so I definitely see how you have the gaps in healthcare being in a kind of fairly isolated area. But I don't know, I can't pinpoint one really bad thing about living here.
I can't see it. I really can't see any negatives either. Besides just that, being away from family, I mean, I haven't run into...
That could be a pro for some people.
Yeah, it depends. It depends.
Go back and forth.
Yeah, as being a con, and to list one con, I really can't list any. So far, it's been great up here.
Yeah.
And then,
That's hard.
Well, I mean, that's definitely what we want to hear. So we'll circle back in a year and we'll see if that's still what we're thinking. Okay, one last random question here. Drake, you said you kind of work up on the slope.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a polar bear while you've been up there? Because I have tried so many times
No.
to see. Okay.
I haven't yet. I've been looking out. A lot of people have seen it, and they show me pictures and videos. I'm like, oh man, what? I've seen grizzlies. There's a lot of grizzlies up there.
Yeah.
I was
Grizzlies,
gonna say, every time you're at
foxes,
work,
yeah.
you send me a video, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I have not had any interactions
No.
with any bear other than the zoo.
As much as I want to see a polar bear up there, I don't.
Yeah. Well, it depends what the setting
Right,
is,
right,
you know?
right.
Like,
If I'm in the camp or in the truck, yeah, sure. But if I'm outside working, no thanks.
yeah, not about that. Because, we want to see it just for curiosity, but, it also wants to see us.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Outstanding. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us and kind of sharing your perspective and what it's like living up here. We've got the meetups and everything we do every month. By the way, this month we're going and doing like some water day sports out at Mirror Lake. So for what you guys are used to,
I have a
Hawaii, it
question.
may
I
or
have
may
a question
not.
about those things, though,
Okay.
because I've heard from some people that the lakes, right? Because I'm used to swimming in an ocean. The lakes have leeches. Is that a thing and a concern?
that is a thing. And if you're swimming in the water, you should probably just give yourself a look over. I mean, even just like I guess it was this
Okay,
week.
what kind of water activities are you doing, and how do you what do you do
like
about this?
paddleboarding,
Yeah.
Okay,
kayaking.
okay.
Yeah, no one's swimming. So.
Okay, I'm like, I don't know. I've never lived anywhere that has a leech before, and I was like, the kids miss swimming, so somebody told me
Yeah.
Mirror Lake was a good place to take kids, and I was like, somebody else told me about. They're like, no, you shouldn't go swimming. There's leeches in there. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Well, it's the leeches, but then also you got to think about if you're going to a smaller lake. Mirror Lake's okay because it's a fairly good sized lake, but if it's a smaller lake,
Yeah.
you have to worry about like these like weird lake rashes that'll like pop up. It's like I don't know exactly what they are, but yeah, small lakes in Alaska, I wouldn't swim in them.
It's more like
Yeah, just
bacteria or whatever.
bacteria. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's bad news.
Okay.
So yeah, paddleboarding and kayaking, all that good stuff. We're probably not going to be swimming. If you guys want to, like, I'm not going to stop you. But
There's that one lake right in Wasilla. I don't know. Is it right in town?
oh, that's I think that's Lucille or
I'm not too sure.
Wasilla Lake.
But
The
anyways,
big one, right?
Yeah,
I passed
Wasilla
by
Lake.
like a couple weeks ago. I was like, dang, like it was just packed with people, and I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's, like you said, paddleboarding, canoe, on their canoes and whatnot, and I don't know, it's pretty cool.
I feel like that's one thing that our kids have missed, though. is
The ocean,
they'll-
yeah.
Yeah, they have definitely will want to go swimming, and they'll constantly ask, like, we want to go back home so we can go swimming. So,
Yeah, the
still trying to
ocean.
navigate that.
Yeah, the ocean experience is a little different up here for sure. Like the only decent beach I found in Alaska, like if you're looking at like the sand beaches, is like I think it's Fossil Beach over in Kodiak Island.
Oh,
Like
okay.
that's the only place where it's not like really rocky and like
You
painful.
actually got sand?
It's actually got sand.
wow.
They've got decent waves coming in. You can actually see surfers out there. So
This is the first time we went to that beach. That beach, and I put quotation beach
Which one?
down in Homer.
Oh yeah.
Our oldest daughter was just saying like how much she misses the beach and whatnot. So we found like this little beach access place, and they're like, "Yeah, beach access." And we went down there, and it was like this little pebble. It wasn't even a beach. It was like pebbles
Small,
and
pebble,
rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small rock.
And we opened the door to let her out to go play with the water, and she was just like, "Oh my god, what is this smell here?" And it was just like
The
kelp
seaweed,
everywhere.
everything,
Yeah.
Yeah, Alaska and Hawaii are going to do certain things differently. Like we've got nothing as far as beaches go.
That's one. Okay, so maybe that's a con. The lack of beaches. that's one con.
Yeah.
But it's not a major one for me.
Yeah. I mean, if you've done the beaches your entire life,
Yeah.
then that's kind of just another beach. But I mean, I guess the reverse would be like Alaskans, like our mountains up here.
Yeah.
And we go somewhere else, and it's like you're just kind of spoiled. But after a while, a mountain is a mountain, which is a mountain. So
I think it almost makes you appreciate where you're from a little more too, like in the sense of we went back home for a visit, and you're just like yes, once you move away from home and the place that you grew up, I think you appreciate it a little more when you go back home to visit. But
yeah. And I've had other times where I'll go back home to visit somewhere, And I'm like driving
This is why I
through.
left.
Yeah, this is exactly why I left. Like, you meet someone, they look exactly like you would have looked had you stayed, and it was like, oh, that was a good move.
I don't know if that was good or bad, but like when we visited back home, it was January.
January, February.
Yeah, it was just like when we went back, it was just like, man, nothing changed.
Yeah,
It's still the
absolutely
same.
nothing.
But I think that's what makes Hilo
Yeah,
Hilo
yeah.
in the sense of why people choose to
Right.
stay there. It's like Hilo looks the same as it
It's-
did 50 years ago,
right.
and for some people they like that. But I think being two kids that grew up there, it's like we wanted to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good news. Hawaii and Alaska aren't going anywhere in the near future. So, we guys got you here, and, go visit Paradise anytime you want. But,
Right.
Yeah.
but yeah, guys, thank you very much.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to having you hopefully in some meetups here, hopefully leech free. And,
I'm gonna need to do some research about that because
yeah, we'll talk off air, but yeah, I wouldn't swim, or if I
Okay.
did, I'd take like a dry suit or
Yeah,
a wetsuit, something like that.
okay.
But everyone else, thanks for joining us.
Thank
We'll
you.
catch you next time.
Cool.